everyone, and welcome to the Foundational Paediatric Spirometry Certificate of Competence short course presented by the Pan-African Thoracic Society. There are two things in life that make us happy. The first one is responsibility, and each one of us has taken a measure of responsibility today in undertaking this training course to better our lives and to better the lives of the people around us. And the second thing that makes us happy is gratitude. So I would like to start off today by acknowledging all the people and organizations who have made this training course possible. So firstly, I'd like to thank the Medical Research Council unit in the Gambia, at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and the United Kingdom Research and Innovation Global Challenges Research-funded Challenge Cluster for Post-TB Lung Health in Children in Sub-Saharan Africa project for helping to make this Pan-African Thoracic Society foundational pediatric spirometry training opportunity possible in the adaptation of the previously developed foundational spirometry training course, and for taking this program to the next level in advancing the training content onto an e-learning and this audiovisual platform. I would also like to thank the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine hosted National Institute for Health Research, Global Health Research Unit on Lung Health and TB in Africa, which is the Impala project, and the Medical Research Council Global Challenge Research funded Lung Health in Africa Across the Life course, that is the LULI project, for helping to make this Pan-African Thoracic Society sponsored spirometry training opportunity possible in the sponsorship of the initial foundational spirometry course developed under the Impala and LULI projects. Thank you very much. Additionally, I would like to thank the American Thoracic Society for taking on the hosting of this course onto the Canvas platform. Also, just to say, by way of disclaimer, that this document and the training course are the property of the Pan-African Thoracic Society, and any mention of any product or company within the course does not contribute endorsement by either the MRC, the LSHTM, the CRF, or the PATS, and in addition, any citations to websites external to the Pan-African Thoracic Society do not constitute any endorsement by PATS or their sponsoring organizations of any other programs or products. So all web addresses referenced in this document were accessible at the date of publication. If you would like to receive any documents or other information about spirometry, please do make contact with us on the PATS website or through email at patspirometry@gmail.com. So let's just start off with a little bit of background information about the Pan-African Thoracic Society. So the Pan-African Thoracic Society is a respiratory society made up of healthcare professionals from across the African continent and beyond. PATS was formed in 2003 and has approximately 1,200 members in 53 countries. PATS aims to promote lung health in Africa, which is the continent most afflicted by morbidity and death from respiratory diseases, by promoting education, research, advocacy, optimal care, and the development of African capacity to address respiratory challenges on the continent. We continuously partner with other regional and international respiratory organizations in global efforts to improve lung health. PATS is overseen by an executive committee of members who are influential in the field of respiratory medicine in Africa. And if you're not yet a PATS member, please join us by looking at the PATS website, where you will find membership information available. So what PATS does is keeps a database of respiratory health-related issues. PATS promotes collaboration between organizations and individuals whose aims are to promote lung health. PATS encourages and expands the PATS membership, advocates for and makes representation for African respiratory health in global forums. PATS develops capacity for research in respiratory health by training people in the PATS MECOR program. PATS encourages best practices for prevention and management of respiratory diseases, and we maintain our website so that everyone involved in respiratory health has a place to go in terms of finding out more about things that they might be interested in terms of respiratory health. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the PATS Spirometry Committee. At the moment, this committee consists of 3 people. The first one is Associate Professor Diane Gray, who works as a clinical researcher and a pulmonologist in the Department of Paediatrics, Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital in Cape Town, South Africa. We have Professor Refilwe Masekela, who is a pediatric pulmonologist, a clinical researcher, and head of Department of Pediatrics and Child Health at the Nelson R. Mandela School of Medicine, King Edward Hospital, Durban, South Africa. And then there's myself. I am Sister Lindsay Zerber. I am the Director and Training Manager of a company called Education for Health Africa, which offers occupational health and primary short care courses across the continent. I also have a little respiratory practice and work as a private respiratory nurse practitioner, mainly seeing patients with asthma for lung function testing and education and counseling. And additionally to that, I am the proud member of the PATS Spirometry Committee, developing courses and leading the facilitation of the PATS courses. If you are interested in spirometry, if you find that you have a passion for it and you would like to develop in this field, please do make contact through the patspirometry@gmail.com email address and let us know about yourself. We do have a Train the Trainer program available for people who want to progress in this field. So now let's look at the Foundational Pediatric Spirometry course, what it involves. So just an overview, this is a PATS accredited Certificate of Competence in Pediatric Foundational Spirometry. And the course is aimed at all people who want to measure spirometry in children. Our vision and our mission as we developed this course was to make available an international standard spirometry training program designed for Africans in Africa. So in this program, we've tried to think of the specific challenges that we might face in conducting spirometry on the African continent and incorporating those into our training program. This program will contribute to the personal development of each learner and the social and economic development of African societies through improved access to quality lung health assessment in children on the African continent. We developed the course to give African and international respiratory health guidelines for the routine use of spirometry. We want to introduce and improve pediatric spirometry in African workplaces, and the course was really developed with the primary purpose of increasing knowledge, practice, and awareness of access to high-quality spirometry in African children. So people who undertake this course should be working with or wanting to work with children who need spirometry. So preferably, participants should be in a setting where spirometry testing in children is being routinely performed, or you are planning to implement a spirometry service to test children. And ideally, you should have completed at least a secondary school education, and you should have basic computer skills. So as you know, the course was developed by the Pan-African Thoracic Society in collaboration with various funders. And for this particular pediatric spirometry training course, as I mentioned before, we are running together with the Medical Research Council unit in the Gambia at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine through the Post-TB Lung Health in Children in Sub-Saharan Africa project. So the program aims and objectives. This PATS accredited Certificate of Competence in Foundational Pediatric Spirometry short course provides pediatric spirometrists with the skills, the knowledge, and the specific competencies required to perform spirometry on children to international standards and guidelines in any work setting. So it would be wonderful if any country is already conducting spirometry testing. It would be good to have knowledge of the country-specific norms for testing and for referral if there have been any developed and are in place. In terms of accreditation and endorsement, the course, as you know, is PATS endorsed and is accredited for CPD points through the South African Medical Association. Learning outcomes, what will you be able to do when you finish taking the course? Firstly, you'll be able to conduct a valid linearity check, so it's important that we know that our equipment is working correctly before we go ahead and test. You will be able to prepare for a pediatric spirometry test. You'll be able to conduct a high-quality spirometry test on children. You'll be able to evaluate, record, and report the pediatric spirometry test result. You'll have a considerable amount of knowledge on the special requirements needed when testing children with spirometry. You'll be able to implement quality assurance processes to ensure the accuracy of the pediatric spirometry test result. And lastly, you will learn strategies to incorporate spirometry testing systematically into routine clinical practice. So what is the program structure? How is this going to take place? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask you to look at the latest spirometry guidelines and to read through those so that you have some background knowledge on spirometry. We're going to ask you to undertake a pre-training knowledge quiz. So that is a short 15-mark multiple choice question which you will undertake before and then again after training, just so that we can measure knowledge transfer from the course and look for places where we need to improve the content. After you've done the knowledge quiz, you're going to undertake the learning content for 10 chapters in pediatric spirometry. This includes theory and it also includes practical demonstrations. You will attend practical pediatric spirometry demonstrations. We will show you how to conduct pediatric spirometry. Then at the very end of the course, once you've gone through all the content, you will undertake a theoretical assessment, a practical assessment, and then you will undertake a portfolio of evidence. What that means is that once you've done the learning, you'll go back into your workplace to apply what you've learned by conducting 5 linearity calibration checks and conducting at least 10 spirometry tests on children. And there are specific requirements which you would be shown later on in the training course. After that, we would ask you to complete the post-training knowledge quiz, which I just spoke about, complete a training evaluation. And just so that you know, depending on your level of knowledge and how you learn, this course will take you about 50 to 60 hours to complete in total. Should you acquire everything you need in the assessment process, you will then attain a PATS endorsed Certificate of Competence in Foundational Pediatric Spirometry Testing. We would then, after that, recommend refresher training approximately every 3 to 5 years. And just so that you know that there are various forms that you can take the learning in. The one is face-to-face for some who are able to do that. The second way is a live facilitator-led online training. There's an e-learning platform, and then there's the audio-visual, which you are enjoying at the moment. So just a little bit more about the assessment processes for competency, that you know exactly what you're going to need to do. Firstly, we're going to ask you to undertake the end of chapter questions. So at the end of every chapter, there are some various types of questions, true and false, multiple choice, matching descriptions to labels, things like that. And each one will have a 25 marks. You won't be able to go on to the next chapter until you've completed the end of chapter questions. Later on in the course, once you've finished all the training content, you will undertake your theory exam. What you can expect is an online 80-mark theory questions, various things, again, multiple choice, true and false, matching, filling in words, okay, 80 marks worth of questions on that. Then you will have a practical assessment. And the practical assessment is done in 3 sections. We will ask you to conduct and report on a linearity calibration check. Then you would need to conduct a spirometric assessment on a child, is the second section. And the third section is when you then evaluate that test report for validity and you interpret the test result. After this, we would ask you to go back into your workplaces when you've finished the learning, go to the workplace, conduct 5 linearity calibration checks, conduct 10 spirometries on children, and submit those to us for assessment. When you have met all the criteria for assessment, you will receive your certificates of competence. So just to reassure you that there is a quality assurance system in place. The PATS Spirometry Committee has looked through all the training material. All of us have collaborated together to bring you the very best training content that we've been able to. All the assessment processes have been agreed and reviewed by the Spirometry Training Committee. And then just in terms of looking forward, what we would love to do is to develop this training content into other languages so that everyone on the African continent can learn in their own language. And that is one of our greatest wishes and the next step that we wish to take with these programs. We'd also love to get a learner management information system that can help us to keep better track of our students. We have created and we do have spirometry refresher training, which we just want to fine-tune that as people have started developing and they've undertaken the certificate of competency, they can come back for refresher training at various time points. And then lastly, we're hoping to do similar courses to what you're going to experience now for other pulmonary function tests. So I hope you will enjoy the program, and let's go on to chapter 1.